I was sitting in my car and it was pouring down rain. And as I was sitting there, because I was not about to go outside and get soaking wet, I noticed something a little bit weird on my windshield. There was a little spot about the size of my thumb that no matter what, just water seemed to flow around it. Even if a raindrop landed directly on this little dot, it would just push out the water and go back to being this little spot. And bear with me as I get a little bit nerdy here for a second. The reason for that is because whatever was in the center of that spot, even though I couldn't see it, was hydrophobic, which is just a fancy way of saying it repelled water. And I started thinking, that's how we should be. We should be able to be okay internally, regardless of what's going on externally. And I started thinking, so how do we actually have that? How can we be okay internally, regardless of what's going on externally? And the answer I came up with was Jesus. You see, Jesus promises us joy in times of trouble, peace that surpasses understanding, confidence when we're afraid, and hope even in the darkest of situations. Can you imagine having that? Well, my friend, it is possible, but only when Jesus is at our center. So the question then becomes, how do we get Jesus as our center? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Spend time with him. This week I challenge you, take 5 minutes. That's it, just 5 minutes every day when you get up and spend time with God, whether that be reading the Bible or praising or just sitting there in silence listening to him or praying, whatever it is. Just take some time, just 5 minutes, and spend it with him. In 1 Chronicles 16:11 it says, "Look to the Lord in his strength. Seek his face always." It may be a discipline at first, but as you continue to do it, eventually it'll just become a habit. We can be okay internally, regardless of what's going on externally, when we have Jesus as our center, because he's strong enough to push out anything that is trying to hold you back or keep you from the abundant life he has for you. We can be like that little spot on my windshield and be able to be okay regardless of what's going on. My friend, you are loved, you are valued, and you have purpose. You just have to keep pursuing hope.